Good afternoon, thanks for checking out the video. Thought I'd make another video about dynamic effort work or speed effort work. I train for strongman, so this will be in particular for anyone else training for strongman. Everything that I've learnt and that I do in here though is what I've learnt through Louis and the West Side system and everything I can find on the Conjugate system online. So presumably a lot of powerlifters maybe checking out this video, trying to figure out what the hell's going on and how they can run a Conjugate style program. Personally, I've watched everything there is on YouTube, many articles as I can find online over the last couple of years, as well as getting my hands on as many books as I can. So I just thought I'd make a video trying to explain what I've figured out. It is pretty hard watching Louis' videos because he talks so fucking fast and he loves his numbers and he spits them out pretty damn fast. So I'll try to talk a little bit slower. Today is Monday, and that's my speed day or dynamic effort lower body. So the first guideline or rule, I don't know if it's a rule. First guideline is that you want to try and split up your dynamic effort and your max effort 72 hours apart. So for me, that's Monday speed work, Thursday is my max effort lower. That's going to allow for adequate recovery between the two sessions. On both of those days, we perform what they call the repetition method, which is just single joint exercises to failure. Not always single joint exercises, but working the hamstrings to failure, bodybuilding type stuff. I know Louis doesn't like it being called that, but bodybuilding style training on both days, 3 days apart. There's guideline one. I'm going to show you my setup for speed deadlifts. The last video I made was more about the squats, so this will be the dynamic effort deadlifts. This is my setup from home. So I've got green bands, and what I do is I've made this little platform. Some power racks will have band attachments and band pegs that you can attach the bands to. I struggled in here for a little while just looking for things to attach the bands to, so I ended up building this little platform. Just bought a bit of plywood from Bunnings, grabbed these carabiners, 4 of those, bolted them in using those. So I use this platform for squats, deadlifts, bench presses, even overhead pressing. I'm sure I could be creative and do even more things, but I do it all with that one. I've got more bands and another bit of plywood here, so I'll end up making a second one so that we can have 2 groups going at once. I put, you can see the dumbbells there and the plates just to hold it down. When you stand on it, you hold it down a little bit, but it still moves around, so I put them there. The bands, I weigh the tension using this, a luggage scale. I won't be able to do it on camera, but you put that under there, stand it up, pull it up to about how high you deadlift or squat to, and it'll give you a number on here. You double it, and that's how much band tension you've got. So these green bands in that position, it's about 33 kilos each, 66 kilos in total in band tension at the top of the lift. And because we're in strongman, we round up, so 70 kilos. What I'm doing today for my speed deadlifts or dynamic deadlifts, you can see I've got the barbell raised up a couple of inches because it's on these plates. What we do is we work in 3-week waves. So a big part of the Conjugate system is rotation of exercises. So what I'll do is I'll do 3 weeks of just normal deadlifts, and then I'll do 3 weeks of like a rack pull like this. Well, it's not even quite a rack pull, it's still below the knee. And then I'll do 3 weeks of deficit deadlifts, 3 weeks of axle deficits. You always want to be rotating exercises, and it works in 3-week waves. Week 1 is 75%, week 2 is 80%, and week 3 is 85% of your max. Now where it gets a little bit tricky is where the band tension comes in. We want 25% band tension to develop speed strength. So what that means is you'll have 50% as your week 1, and that'll be 75% at the top. 55% becomes 80 at the top, and 60% becomes 85 at the top. So it's a really light weight, and ideally you'd have 25% band tension. So these green bands that I've got, they work really well for me. They are pretty much exactly 25% of my max deadlift, which is 280. 280 divided by 4, bang, beautiful. So the girls that train in here, they might use the black bands. The black bands add 30 kilos or 40 kilos maybe at the top, something like that. And I can add red bands on top, but you don't want to be using a band that's too heavy, and then you'll have just a stupidly light weight on the bar, and it's going to move fast just because it's so light from the starting position. So that's why the bar's up a little bit higher today, because I vary because I vary the position that I pull from. We don't want to keep doing the same thing over and over. That's the whole point of this system. So this makes a lot of sense for strongman, where in every competition you're going to be performing a deadlift, and 50% of the time it's not just your conventional deadlift from the floor. I'd be able to probably remember and get the statistics on how many times in the competitions I've done it's been a conventional deadlift from the floor. I reckon it's going to be about 50%. Often we're doing an 8-inch or 14-inch pull, sometimes even higher if it's a silver dollar. Car deadlift sometimes, so the levers are totally different. So for our sport, for strongman, we just don't want to do the same things over and over and develop strength in just one area. The more you just keep deadlifting from the same position, the more you're just going to keep strengthening the stronger muscles. So by doing something like this, raised up a little bit higher, takes my leg drive out of the lift, puts a little bit more on the lower back straight away. So for someone like me, the way that I deadlift, my body type, and having done all the speed work, I'm really fast and explosive off the floor. I don't actually find it too easy deadlifting from a higher position like this. Raising the bar up doesn't make it that much easier for me because I lose my leg drives. This is a way for me to strengthen my lower back. I just think it makes a lot of sense for strongman to vary your deadlifts where you pull from. Changing stances, so sumo, you can pull from different heights. Deficit, like I said, we vary that on the max day and we vary it on the speed work as well. Hopefully that clarifies a little bit about the band tension and what weights to use. If not, let me know, ask some questions, I'll try to clear it up, or we can try to figure it out together as a team. The next thing is how many reps we do on the speed days. So using Prilipin's chart, we can decipher how many reps we should do at each percentage. This week is my 85% week, so the third week of the wave, 60% on the bar, 25% band tension, it's 85%. I'm gonna be performing 8 sets of 2, that's 16 reps, a little bit less than what's optimal, but I'm 2 weeks out of my competition now, or 2 weeks of training away from my competition. I'm just keen to slowly start winding things down. All wrongy. Speed dead's done. I think I got the dynamic effort stuff done in 8 minutes, like I said. I might have accidentally done 9 sets, I know I lost count. And then I just added that last single in there, that was 220. Just for a single without the bands. I do that maybe a bit less than half the time. So at the top it was a little bit less than what I was doing with the bands, but it was more from the bottom or where I was pulling from. I just like the idea of finish on a single without the bands. I don't do it all the time. I explained in my last video why we choose low reps, so I did 8 sets of 2 then, or 9 sets of 2. Basically that was 16 reps, maybe it was 18 reps, I'll have to watch the video and count. So as I said before, we're following Prilipin's chart, trying to follow the guidelines there for how many reps to hit at certain percentages. And we want to keep bar speed, we want to maintain bar speed. I made a bit of a thing about it in my last video, repeating myself over and over. Maintain bar speed, so that's why the reps are low. So every rep is fast, every rep is really well executed. I'm pretty sure if you watch some Westside videos now, they're doing some 5x5s and 6x6 on bench and stuff like that, so I don't think they ever said that that's wrong. It's the total amount of work done that we want to focus on. When the weights are light, we can make sure that we're executing really fast reps, practice setting up a bunch of times due to doing more sets and less reps, and we can keep the intensity high. As you can see, I'm sweating. I'm only puffed out because I'm talking and unfit, but I'm sweating. It's really hot in here as well. We've got 1 fan and 2 fans. So keep the intensity high by keeping the rest periods really short, so get a lot of work done in a small amount of time. I'm going to go into speed squats now. I'm going to safety bar with chains to a box, which I think is what I did in my last video. That was on week 1 of the wave. Now I'm up to week 3 of that same wave from that last video. So hopefully I'm not talking gibberish. I know it's bloody hard with all the numbers being thrown around and everywhere, but anyone that tries this kind of workout, 8 sets of 2 with a band, take the band off and hit a heavy single or hit the same weight for a single, and I can't imagine anyone not liking it. Like, you feel the effects of it straight away. You feel how much easier it is without the bands. The bands, although it's a lighter weight from the floor, you still have to work really hard, and the weight at the top, it really feels like it's pulling you down on deadlifts and squats. It's an amazing feeling. with the bands how hard your core has to work, or your whole body. You take the bands off and it's like, holy fuck, this is easy as shit. I just can't see how anyone could try it and not like it. But I'm a weirdo, everyone's different, so I accept that. And I don't want everyone doing this because I think it's magical, and I'll get stronger and catch up to everyone that's ahead of me for now. Anyway, any questions, let me know.